The story begins during World War II, somewhere in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, where a Japanese warship comes under heavy enemy fire. The flames are so intense that the entire coastline disappears beneath thick smoke, and within minutes, the ship sinks deep into the ocean. But fate isn't done playing games. As the sun rises the next morning, something unexpected is found on the shore. Not peace, but two enemies lying side by side. One is Tai Lang, a Japanese soldier, the other Logan, an American Marine. And both of them are shackled together with a heavy iron chain. Enemy or not, like it or not, if they want to live, they're stuck together. Tai Lang barely manages to pull out Logan's pistol when Logan suddenly regains consciousness and charges at him. The two begin brawling like wild animals, hell-bent on breaking each other's skulls right there on the beach. But neither of them realizes they are not alone. In the middle of the fight, Logan slips, and something massive and unknown from the water slams into him from behind, trying to drag him back into the sea. If it weren't for the chain, Logan's story would have ended right there. Tai Lang reacts instantly, fires his gun into the water, and the dark shadow vanishes beneath the waves. Cold winds, soaked uniforms, and one terrifying realization: their true enemy isn't each other. It's whatever that thing in the water is. The chain that once symbolized captivity has now become their only lifeline. Logan takes a deep breath and mutters, "If we want to stay alive, we fight together." And from that moment on, their battle of hatred transforms into a story of survival. With their hatred cooling down, both soldiers realize one thing: before fighting anything else, they must get rid of the chain. Otherwise, they can neither run nor fight properly. Tai Lang and Logan wander along the shoreline, scavenging through the wreckage of the sunken Japanese warship. They collect whatever they can: food supplies, gun parts, and most importantly, a small metal gear that might help break the lock. Logan smirks and says, "Well, at least we won't starve before we die." That night, Tai Lang catches a fish from the sea, cooks it, and silently offers it to Logan. For the first time, they sit together like human beings, not enemies, and share a meal without trying to kill each other. Now it's time to break the chain. Logan tries first, pulling with all his strength, but the chain doesn't even budge. Then Tai Lang suggests an unexpected idea. The weakest point is near the ankle. Hit there. Logan hesitates. If he makes one wrong move, the chain may not break, but his leg definitely will. But survival means taking risks. Thud! With one powerful strike, the chain snaps. Logan jumps up in excitement. Yes! Now it's Tai Lang's turn, but Logan pauses for a moment. Can he really trust this man? What if this is a trick? After a tense silence, Tai Lang slowly extends his leg. Thud! The second chain breaks. And just like that, the journey from enemies to allies officially begins. They look at each other with silent respect, but no one says thank you, of course. Soldiers aren't emotional. At best, they give a subtle humph and nod. But breaking the chain doesn't mean they're free, because the real danger is still lurking. Suddenly, a massive flock of birds bursts out from the forest, flying frantically into the sky. Tai Lang freezes. In a low, tense voice, he mutters, "Something's coming." And with that, a new nightmare begins. Tai Lang approached cautiously and spotted strange footprints along the beach. The monster was back. Before they could react further, two Japanese soldiers arrived, bringing a local fisherman with them. The fresh footprints revealed the monster had been there earlier. Tai Lang knew their presence could expose him, so he instructed Logan to hide while he confronted the soldiers. Tai Lang observed their fire from a distance. The three on the island were on alert. Quietly, the soldiers approached, and Tai Lang pretended to be asleep, claiming he had been on the island since morning. Speaking fluent Japanese, he gradually gained their trust. From the shadows, Tai Lang noticed the monster was also nearby, spying on the soldiers. He silently prayed it didn't see him. After a while, the monster retreated, and the soldiers sat by the fire, noticing 2 water pots. Suspecting someone else was present, they questioned Tai Lang. He nodded cautiously, unaware that Logan's American uniform was nearby. The soldiers quietly moved to surround him. One unbuttoned his pants, revealing an iron ring on Tai Lang's ankle, exposing his identity as a fugitive. Suddenly, a low growl came from the grass. The locals froze in shock. One soldier ventured into the grass and discovered a cave, only to be ambushed by a spirit-like creature. His arm was severed instantly. The soldiers guarding Tai Lang were horrified. In the dark, Logan emerged with a knife, killing one of the soldiers. Simultaneously, soldiers in the cave were also attacked by the monster. Tai Lang realized the situation had worsened. They hid in the grass, leaving behind only the body of the local fisherman. When the monster appeared again, it crushed one of the men before he could escape. Both Tai Lang and Logan fled into the dense forest. The monster chased them relentlessly. Logan tripped over a branch, finally seeing the full horror of the creature. Tai Lang returned just in time, stabbing it with a knife and pulling Logan to safety. The 2 men ran as the forest grew denser, hearts pounding. Tai Lang slipped and rolled down a steep hill. When he awoke, it was already the 2nd morning. Fortunately, the monster had not pursued them further, but they couldn't relax. Logan, less fortunate, stumbled into a cold water pit. He swallowed water and struggled downstream, exhausted. Looking back, he spotted a mermaid-like creature standing top a cliff. He knew he had no choice but to continue moving. His only hope of escaping the island was to reach the beach. The river's current drained his strength. He paused to rest, but then a crocodile appeared suddenly. Logan froze, too scared to move. The crocodile ignored him and sank into the water, giving him a brief chance to continue. As he moved along the mountain path, he noticed the mermaid cleaning its wounds near the river, likely from Tai Lang's earlier attacks. Then a crocodile dragged the creature into the water. Logan felt a brief relief, only to see the mermaid emerge and tear the crocodile apart. Realizing the danger of standing in the water, he continued along the mountain path without delay. Meanwhile, Tai Lang was luckier. Along the way, he collected around 50 knives, staying alert even when in water. Ahead, a giant blocked the river, forcing him to take a detour along the mountains. As he entered a forest, he saw a corpse hanging from a tree. Attempting to investigate, he fell into a pit containing a rotting crocodile. Gathering himself, Tai Lang climbed out and identified the body as a pilot. The pilot's body had been left hanging after some previous struggle. Using the pilot's remaining bullets, he continued west along the mountain path. Far ahead, he spotted a dead fighter plane. As night fell, Logan also reached a pool's edge. His first thought was to gather materials from the plane. Using scrap iron, he made a simple tool and searched the cabin. He found a flare gun, a lighter, and an axe. Under the wing, a missile hung, waiting to be used. Logan and Tai Lang, exploring nearby, discovered a cave. The light from their flares revealed something unusual inside. They entered carefully and soon encountered a giant egg suspended in the air, with a mermaid-like figure inside. They realized the cave was the mermaid's nest. Logan immediately wanted to destroy the egg, but Tai Lang warned him this would provoke the mother creature. They debated briefly until Logan suggested a compromise. Use the wrecked plane's missile to destroy the nest safely. They returned to the plane and dismantled the missile to transport it back to the cave. When Logan tried to set it up, he noticed the missile's timer was bent. Repairing it without proper tools was difficult. He remembered the axe in the cabin and retrieved it. As they returned, the sound of a monster outside made them tense. Logan quickly lit a signal egg for light while Tai Lang held his sword, watching the approaching mermaid. As they prepared, the mermaid began to reveal itself, moving closer with careful, deliberate steps. Tai Lang held his sword ready while Logan struggled with the axe stuck in the grass. When the creature finally lunged, Tai Lang engaged it directly, but the mermaid overpowered him. Logan quickly freed the axe, ready to strike. They found temporary safety behind a natural threshold, using it to tend to their wounds. The signal egg burned out quickly, and in the darkness, the injured mermaid disappeared. Realizing they couldn't stay in the open, they returned to the cave. After some time, they finally repaired the missile's timer. Just then, the mermaid jumped from the shadows. A flying object struck Logan, knocking him down. Tai Lang rushed to help, but the mermaid's strength was overwhelming. It overpowered Logan, kicking him violently. Tai Lang fired a few rounds, injuring the creature slightly. Seeing the giant egg, Tai Lang aimed and fired. The embryo fell, causing the mermaid visible pain. Observing this, Logan understood his own life was in immediate danger. He removed his name tag and handed it to Tai Lang, instructing him to leave the cave as quickly as possible. While the mermaid still held the egg, Tai Lang ran out in 3 steps. Logan remained behind, holding the axe and striking it against the missile's timer. A fire ignited in the cave, forcing Tai Lang to watch in sorrow. For a few moments he felt the weight of loss, but he continued moving along the beach. To his surprise, the mermaid had survived the explosion. With no way to retreat, Tai Lang prepared for battle, holding knife. The mermaid hid in the grass, observing him. Mistaking a figure for a Japanese soldier, the creature advanced, unaware that Tai Lang had already set up an ambush in a sand pit. In a swift attack, Tai Lang stabbed the mermaid in the face. Drawing on all his strength and skill, Tai Lang fought with extreme precision, finally killing the mermaid. However, he did not pursue the monster further. He knew the true danger on the island was not gone. It was the invader itself. Rushing to the beach to signal for rescue, Tai Lang discovered the magazine was empty. He laughed bitterly, realizing he might die on the island. When he awoke again, he found himself on a warship. It turned out the U.S. Navy had rescued him. And Logan's nameplate had helped confirm his identity. Tai Lang finally confessed why he had joined the Japanese army. He couldn't accept orders from superiors that required soldiers to die needlessly. Instead, he chose to take matters into his own hands, eliminating enemies himself. Sitting silently on the ship, Tai Lang looked out over the ocean, reflecting on the ordeal.